I don't know why. For some reason, I get the best thoughts at night and just philosophical, whatever it is. I can articulate, I can create things. I have video ideas all at night and during the nighttime, and this is just another one. This is something I've been thinking about for like a couple days, and I was like, all right, I'll make a YouTube video on it eventually. And then I was watching this dude. He's like an entrepreneur. He's an online fitness coach. John Mark Stevens said, I love this guy. I've been watching a ton of his content. I went back and looked at his whole story, and he was like talking about some mean, and there was like a dumb guy, there's a middle guy, and a guy at the end. And he's saying that the guy in the middle, the guy in the beginning, he's new, and all the information is new as well. So everything is simple. And in the middle, he's going over there's a guy that is finding all these complex things. He's trying to make everything overcomplicated because he's trying to find new methods that he thinks is going to work better. And there's going to be the advanced guy who is like, all right, simple, the basics are what wins. And this is something that I wanted to touch on. I believe that less is more. And honestly, simplicity is so much better than whatever, like building all these systems and all this different stuff. And especially if you're a middle guy, AI can amplify that so much. Like, because AI will reciprocate exactly what you tell it to, and it won't like really challenge you really. It'll just kind of obey what you say. And it'll be like, okay, I'm going to create such and such program for you, and it's going to be as complicated as you want it, or as basic as you want it. Now, the information may or may not be right, but it's up to you to determine if it is or not. So I was looking into this concept, and it turns out it dates back to a Chinese philosopher, I believe. I'm going to read you a quote. All right, I'm going to butcher this name. Chinese Xian Master Qinguan Vexian. I'm going to spell that, don't worry. Quagyuan Veixon. Let's get into the quote. Before I had studied mountains for 30 years, I saw mountains as mountains and rivers as rivers. When I arrived at a more intimate knowledge, I saw mountains not as mountains and rivers not as rivers. So he's overcomplicating things a little bit more. But now that I have gotten to its very substance, I am at rest, for it's just that I see mountains once again as mountains and rivers once again as rivers. He's going through this exact cycle. He saw the mountains in the beginning as mountains because he didn't have a understanding of it. But he went through a period of trying to have a deeper understanding and a deeper knowledge of mountains, causing him to overcomplicate his beliefs and him not even seeing mountains as mountains anymore. And then once he gets to a deeper understanding, he goes right back to the basics. And he understands that mountains are just mountains. Now, let me put this into perspective real quick. I did the exact same thing with fitness. At the beginning, stuck to the basics. And what I needed to do in fitness was get a competitive advantage over people that had been playing football and had been lifting for a long time. I had to figure out how I can get the 220 lean, which I'm not even right now, by the way. And I can get my bench press to like 400, 405, and my squat to 5 plates. So I tried doing all these unconventional, different methods, different kind of box squat, a different kind of bench press, trying to train 6 times a week. And I wasn't even mastering the basics. I wasn't even doing the fundamentals. And that led me to, 1, getting injured. But 2, I didn't even have as much growth as I should have, to be honest. Because once you overanalyze everything and you break everything down to its core, you realize that success is simplicity. That the more you try to change things and overanalyze things, you usually come up with unoptimal methods and methods that are just not as effective as if you just master the basics. I applied the same knowledge that I have of simplicity and the basics to literally trigonometry, which I took this year. I took pre-calculus. I'm not a math genius, but as someone who believed in my mind that I was an idiot, and I got rid of that limiting belief, and I started realizing that trigonometry is literally just algebra on steroids, right? If you get rid of all the fluff, if you get rid of all the cosine, all the tangent, all the sine, and you just do the math, even though the math is taking measurements of whatever the it's used for, whatever the cosine tangent signs are used for, it's literally just algebra at heart. And algebra is the basics. Georges St-Pierre, MMA fighter, he believes that the basics are what wins matches. And the best MMA fighters, the best baseball players, best basketball players, whatever, any kind of sports guy, they master the basics. And this is the exact approach that I plan on using for my business. I want to get good at sales, right? I want to build a great product. I want to get good at communication. I want to get good at, the base, whatever the basic skills of business is, I want to get good at. And I'm going to keep reusing it. I'm going to keep building off of that, just so that I can become successful, because I know the basics will get me there. And after you've broken those things down, after you've had that realization, after you've gone through that phase of overcomplicating things, and you realize that basics are the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are what get you to what you want, you relieve so much stress of just searching for all this random crap is now out of your brain, and you can now operate at full force. I'm gonna check if I had anything else in my notes, but I think that was about it. Hey man, I mean, same thing for wrestling. Even though I wasn't a star wrestler, all the state sectionals that we won is just because we went over the same things over and over and over again, and we went over the basics over and over and over again. You need to learn how to deal with boredom and how to enjoy boredom in a way that you can build skills, because skill building takes boredom. You have to be able to withstand boredom. Nothing's ever going to be constantly stimulating, like especially in social media. I'll explain it. Every single new video you see is a new stimulation. Like it's a new way of wiring, of getting into your brain and firing all these different neurons at once. Skill building is not going to be like that. So what I like to do is I do the same stuff over and over again, but with new music in a new location. Find a way to get yourself a different stimulus so you can continue doing the boring things, because the boring things is what gets you the best results. And we all want those best results. Embrace the boredom, do the optimal, and tweak it around a little bit, and you got this. That's all I had to say for today. So stay relentless.